100 yards a weekend to go, as it'll be the Washington Redskins taking on the Minnesota Vikings. I'll see you again at halftime as we preview some of the action coming up on Sunday. But for now, it's Thursday Night Football. And on the call, as always, it's Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
And we find ourselves at the stadium that played host to Super Bowl 52, the wondrous U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. It can certainly get loud inside this building. And just a few moments ago when the Vikings were introduced, it was downright shaking in here. They're set for football as the Vikings get ready to do battle with the Washington Redskins. Hi again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And Charles, you look at this Vikings ball club. They've certainly found their groove of late, winners of 5 in a row.
And I think the sky's the limit for this team. They're playing the best football that they've played in a long time.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Redskins, they're in a real groove of late, winners of 5 of their last 6 games.
And how about that defense last week? They pitched a shutout, and it's really more like a no-hitter because they absolutely dominated that game from the opening whistle.
Lurching closer toward the midway point of this NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. This is taken about 7 yards deep, and no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out come the Vikings with Kirk Cousins leading the way. Cousins surprisingly efficient in his first season as a member of the Vikings. He hit on better than 70% of his passes, second only to Drew Brees, and was actually just the 6th ever NFL quarterback to finish a season above that 70% mark. Here's Dalvin Cook, third year back from Florida State. Call it officially a loss of 2 on the first play from scrimmage. Second down.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know, you know better than I, he has the ability to take over a game. So what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, it's nothing but room to run.
3 and out, a real danger here on their opening drive as they come up on a 3rd and 12. Here's Cousins. And this is Cook with the ground. And they're going to get him down well short of the first as he can only get this to the 30.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
This is taken at the 15. And now off to the races down the right side. Touchdown, Washington. Mark that down as an 85-yard punt return as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. They get the stop defensively, force the punt. They score without their offense even stepping on the field.
I remember playing on special teams and teasing the guys on offense like, look, you don't even worry about it. You guys just hang out over there. We'll bring this one all the way back and get the points we need. In this case, they actually got that done.
Hopkins with the extra point. And that makes the score 7-0. Well, it's no secret. That's why they have him return punts. He has the capability to take them back, and he did so there. So after surrendering the punt return for a score, let's see what they can do in turn on this kickoff. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the Vikings offense gets set to take over here. And the first drive, 3 and out. Second possession, see if they can get a little momentum.
And oftentimes that first drive is just a feeling out process. You have some plays that you've got called and you want to see how defense reacts. It may not go terrific on the first one. Now they're ready to go. They've kind of got to look at them, got a sense. Let's see if they open things up a little bit.
See if they open things up. Let's see what the defense does here, too, after a good stop. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Cousins gives way to Cook. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. And counting the defense here, the Redskins have 6 defensive backs out there. From the gun, here's Cousins. Open here, Adam Thielen. They do get 9, but it leads to 4th down.
Well, it looks like they got what they wanted. They got the completion, but they weren't able to break any tackles or gain nearly enough yardage to pick up the 1st down. Now to be 4th and short.
They'll look to set up his blockers. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And it'll be Redskins football now with a 1st and 10. Haskins and the Redskins come up 1st and 10, just shy of the 30. Now the 2nd year back from LSU, it's Darius Geis. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Good yardage as he rumbles for 24 and a 1st.
Outside handoff to the right side. If you're a running back, you love getting the ball early so you have vision to see what's happening in front of you.
Right tackle likes that call. Big play for him, but don't forget about the guys you always tell me on the backside sealing off.
Well, they talk about cutoff blocks, making sure no one can leak from the backside that can run a play down.
Yeah, nobody leaked. Big play. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Haskins will throw. He'll rifle this one deep. And this is taken in at the 5. Touchdown, Washington. Paul Richardson. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Redskins are able to stretch the lead out further. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go. Look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
Fairly short kick, taken at the 14 here. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a 1st down and change our momentum?
There are the numbers for Cook from a week ago. 21 carries for an even 100 yards.
And now that he's playing a Thursday night game, short week, you know he spent a lot of time in the trainer's room in the cold tub trying to get his legs back for this game.
To throw is Cousins. And that's going to be intercepted. Landon Collins, the Pro Bowl safety. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And he will score. Touchdown, Washington.
Partner, what we just saw, that's a great example of a team that was really amped up. They've been playing so well, yet they didn't get overexcited and have a bust on defense and gave up a big play. Instead, they created their own big play with a pick 6. This one may be over.
Yeah, it's just the first half, but that lead has swelled to the point where you're wondering if it is over already. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. Fairly short kick taken at the 14 here. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
Throwing on second down. Cousins. This is caught by Antonio Brown. It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the first. First down, here's the run with Cook. And 3 yards there, takes him to the 45.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
They had 3 yards on first down, just 1 yard there. The Vikings on third down, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This will be 3rd and 6. That's complete to the receiver, Thielen. And he will have the first down as he gets this to the 47. A first down for Minnesota. Cousins finding Thielen. Cousins on first down. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. He was looking for his tight end there, Kyle Rudolph. And that'll bring up second down. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Back to the ground, Cook. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. Back-to-back stops make it 3rd and 10.
56, Mike, 56 right there.
On third down, Cousins. And he's going to find his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And the tackle going to be made at the 41 as they stop him a few yards short of the first. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back? Essentially. And how about this, a fake? But he will not make the first down marker, and that'll be a turnover on downs. It's such a risky play there to fake it. You're either the hero or the GOAT. Here they're going to be the GOAT.
Unfortunate, too, because you know they thought they had something there. They don't call it just to call it. They don't just say, oh, what the heck, let's go ahead and fake it here. They feel like they've got something on. They've got the defense in the right spot. Just unsuccessful in that opportunity. But I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
That one good for 26 and a first down. Two minutes remaining in this first half of football.
Good work, boy. Let's go. Let's go.
Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. That's complete to his receiver, McLaurin. Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time and a first down. A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal. Here's Haskins to throw. Buying time to his left. The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, he did a nice job keeping his eyes downfield, waiting for someone to get open. But once the pressure forced his eyes down to see the rush, it was time to make a break for it.
To throw again on 2nd down. Haskins, and he will score. Touchdown, Washington. Dwayne Haskins with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Redskins are able to stretch the lead out further.
Well, this was a pass all the way, but he just kept buying time, didn't he? It was kind of like, wait. Oh, it's open. Time to hot-foot it and go. And, boy, was he successful.
Yeah, didn't go to the outside toward the pylon, just straight ahead, middle third of the field.
Shortest distance between 2 points. Straight line.
This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And you see Dalvin Cook and the offense heading back out. He's had a good chunk of carries. Problem is for very little success. I don't want to put it all on his shoulders, but that's a big reason they're losing right now.
Have to be very careful that he doesn't start pointing fingers. Offensive line obviously trying. The defense is doing a nice job against him today. When it's all said and done, it's all about the guy in the mirror. He has to get it done better going forward.
See if he can look and do some soul searching now. Draw play, Cousins to Cook. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. A 10th carry in the game for Cook. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. The Redskins now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Here's Britton Colquitt now as he's on to punt for Minnesota. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. That's taken on the 25. Great blocking on the return. It springs him for 25. And this offense takes over in great shape right at the 50, 1st and 10. They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line. And he's going to be swallowed up. Sacked back at the 45-yard line. The sack by big number 98, Linval Joseph. But following the sack, they'll try to change their fortune here on 2nd and 13. Here's Haskins. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And that's going to be incomplete. 12 seconds left. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Now Haskins, 3rd and long. He wants it all for the end zone. And that is caught. Touchdown, Washington. Terry McLaurin in the final seconds of the first half as his guys continue to pour it on. And just before the half ends, the prayer is answered. Defensively, a disaster there.
I know often we're surprised when this actually works. I mean, the excitement level goes way up, and maybe we shouldn't be because I know as a defender, you've got to play the ball in this situation, but you can't interfere with the receiver because, remember, it's a spot foul, and it'd be 1st and goal if it happens in the end zone, and you don't want to give up that play. And that little bit of hesitancy often works really well for offensive guys.
This is taken about 7 yards deep. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25. Likely time for one final snap as they start out 1st and 10. And with time running short here, they'll simply take a knee, and that should do it for half number 1. So we've reached halftime here in what is quickly turning into quite a rout. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, guys, thanks very much. We'll get back with you shortly. But first, let's take a look at what's coming up this weekend around the NFL. The best of the early games on Sunday may just be in Buffalo, where the Bills face a big test as they get set to host the Philadelphia Eagles. Lots to look forward to in the late afternoon window as well, one being a late start in Foxborough, where it'll be the Patriots taking on the Cleveland Browns. And finally, on Sunday Night Football, in the NFL's 100th season, it's the rematch of what became the very first Super Bowl, Packers and Chiefs, from Arrowhead Stadium. In our game, it was a rookie Dwayne Haskins showing why he felt too many teams passed on him in the first round. He's thrown for 2 touchdowns, and he has run for another. As for the call of the second half, we turn things back over to Brandon Gaudin.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Redskins in a good spot. They've got the lead. They will get the football as the second half gets underway. This is taken at his 4. And there he goes again. 20, 10. Flop touchdown, Washington. Call that a 96-yard house call on the kick return as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. The game he's having, he had the punt return earlier for a touchdown.
Oftentimes, guys who are on punt return and kickoff return, many of them are the same guys. And they're devoted to a return guy who can break big plays. And when that happens and they know it's there, they're going to block that much harder and be that much more skillful, as well as utilizing his talents. And this is what you get. Punt return, kick return, a huge game.
This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. It's the Vikings' turn on offense. We get ready for their first possession second half. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there because we often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more clinical than that. And in this case, are they upset that the plays weren't working because of execution? Or did they think they were just bad plays to call? Yeah. We'll find out pretty quickly here if they felt like they had something going, but they just need to do it a little bit better or not.
We'll find out. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that'll make it 3rd and 1. They'll run it. Here's Cook. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Throwing quickly, that's caught by Brown out wide. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. It'll be a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd and 11.
Let's make these babies cry all the way back home.
On play action, Cousins. This will be caught by Brown. And he's taken down right at the 45-yard line. And they're going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at the Redskins' 45-yard line. In Washington territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. Throwing is Cousins. Now the hit comes, and Cousins lost the football. And the Redskins scoop it. The 20. And he will score. Touchdown, Washington. And give some kudos to the defensive coordinator, I think, here. They bring the blitz, they dial it up, and it turns into 6 points for them.
It's so nice to hear you actually give kudos to the defense. It is so nice. You're such an offensive guy like that. I love it. He dialed things up, and boy, a big play resulted for his guys.
Well, you like the credit to the defense there, right, my friend?
Yeah, do I ever?
Extra point good by Hopkins. And the lead will swell by 1 more. So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way. The fumble return for a touchdown. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. That's fielded in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. The Vikings offense now heading out to take over. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. And they're able to swarm him behind the line, and his rough night continues.
I think it's pretty evident we can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
They went with the dime look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
Colquitt on to kick as he sends it away. Fielded just inside the 20. It's a 49-yard punt, but subtract 9 there for the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. So here are the Redskins now to take over. They're working on a 4-game winning streak, and they lead this one as well right now as they start 1st and 10. And they'll wind up getting this to the 37, gain of 9.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
That's going to be caught by Richardson. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. Under a minute to go in this third quarter as they come up 1st and 10. Now Haskins on 1st down. This one complete to Jordan Reed. And he finally goes down, but not before reaching the 21. A huge play there for Washington. 41 yards. So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Here we go, the first carry for the former Viking Peterson. And not much to speak of there. Maybe a yard down to the 20. They follow up that gigantic gain with the tiniest of pickups, 1 yard. And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. Call it a gain of 4, and it'll leave him with a 3rd down and 6 to go. Third down. Here's Haskins. Complete. Richardson has it. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Let's go.
Looking to throw, Haskins. And he's going to be dropped. Back at the 15-yard line. Stephen Weatherly. Credit him with a sack as he buries him for a loss of 10. It's 2nd and goal, but now all the way back at the 14. Now Haskins to throw it. And he finds the tight end, Reed. No gain that time on the completion, and it'll be 3rd down.
I got you.
On 3rd and goal, Haskins. To the end zone, but it's incomplete. Something of a rare incompletion. Remember, Charles, last week under 50% throwing the football. That's what he was, but he has turned that around in this game.
Last week was what's commonly known as a fluke. For him to be under 50%, not normal, not the usual. But to be up over 80%,
but when this ball's tipped and intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Eric Kendricks. And he'll go down inside the 15 at his own 13-yard line. Well, they get a fourth quarter pick. A little something to hang their hat on, I guess.
Okay, so let's face it, though. Who's happy about this play? Fantasy guys, right?
Yeah.
The analytics will tell you one thing or another. That's a bad play on one hand, a good play on the other. But it's all about the fantasy points here.
Yeah, because this ball game is over. So they had the big loss on that first down pass play and facing a 2nd and long. Now this one to his tight end out on the right side. And he'll be taken down, losing yardage back at the 9-yard line. The Vikings on 3rd down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. This is 3rd and 14. Cousins.
We always talk about receivers. If the ball hits your hand, you're supposed to haul it in, but it is hard to adjust to a pass thrown a little bit behind you.
That one was all the momentum going forward. Couldn't contort his body back to grab it. And it's fielded at the 34. Now a late flag comes in as they got him down via the face mask, and that'll give him even better starting position. Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that one looked pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
Now a play fake here on first down. That's complete to his tight end, Sprinkle. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. So another score there. Often you talk about the three phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a fourth phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the fourth quarter. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And, okay, all right, I'm being facetious here. But you get points. You feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. They run it again with Cook. And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line. And we are inside of 2 minutes left in this lopsided affair. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. They face a third down now as they try to find a late score. Now a third down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, fourth quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. And we'll see what he can do on the return. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Out comes Washington's offense as they get set to take over here. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup, let him get some time?
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. We you know, these guys play. And we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
Geis with the carry on second down. And down right around the 32-yard line, 4 yards on the pickup.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
Now Washington going to use the second of their 3 timeouts. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this fourth quarter of play. And no move to get the offense off the field. Despite failing once, they're going to go again here on 4th down. 4th down, here's Haskins. And it is incomplete. The Redskins go for it, but it doesn't pan out. And the Vikings defense is going to get the football back. So they were really trying to put the nail in the coffin there already with this lead here in the 4th, but they didn't get it.
Guaranteed it's not going to be a fun handshake in the postgame, right? You just know that there's going to be some bad blood there. And I know if we go to the postgame press conferences, the winning coach, you know what he's going to say, why he did it? We need the points, okay? Because you never know at the end of the year if points are going to come into the tiebreaker if we're trying to get into the playoffs. That's always the standard justification.
The Redskins going to go ahead and use their final timeout. And as the 2 teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. They had the catch on second down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at third down here. From the gun, here's Cousins. Trying for Brown, and it's intercepted. It's Quentin Dunbar with a pick. And the return stops at the 39-yard line.
So many times we end a game, and as we're recapping it, we're talking about what offenses did and how they won the game. Let's flip this one over. The defense, they frustrated the offense the entire ball game. That's why they're walking out of here with a victory.
And they're going to love to walk out of here with that as their final act. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Everson Griffin on the sack, taken to the 4th round back in 2010. What a steal. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on second down. So hail to the Redskins as they get the victory here. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense was they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one, and that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that and you're out there fresh playing, off a little extra spring in your step, and it showed up in this one.
They had a ton of spring in their step. Impressive victory. So for Washington, the win here means it'll be a 7-1 first half of the season. And now they'll get the weekend off as they get a little extra time to prepare to face the Buffalo Bills. Meanwhile, for Minnesota, they'll fall to 5-3 with a loss. And they'll try to get back to their winning ways next week as they head to KC to take on the Chiefs.